been a resident of Boise, Idaho for over 800 years. I just don't get why this always happens to me every single time.
Oh, come on, guys. You get it. You get it, right?
Hello, and welcome to the Rag Company Podcast right here on the Rag Company Podcast YouTube channel. You guessed it. That's right. I'm your host, Dane Hennon. To my right, Levi Gates.
Hey, thank you, Dane. Dr. Levi Gates.
Reverend Dr. Levi Gates. Mm-hmm. And to my left, wow, frog in the throat, Anthony Fisher.
Hey, Dane, thanks for having me. Happy Tuesday, everybody. And thanks
it really
for
is.
Thanks for joining us for the main show podcast.
Of course.
Where we talk a little bit about weekends, we talk a little bit about detailing, and a little bit of everything in between. So, Dane, should I start this off with some housekeeping on this beautiful
I
Tuesday
would like
morning?
that. Yes, please.
Okay, I'll let you clear that frog out of your throat.
Would you like a honey lemon fisherman friend?
I don't know.
Please, sign me up.
My voice is fine. You guys
It's a great flavor. Available at the Albertsons on 36th and State.
Thank you.
Just down the street from your house.
What that is that fisherman's friend is a little bit of oil, right, for the rust in your throats, right?
Yeah,
Dane,
we're clearing the rust out of the tank.
Dane,
a lubricant.
There you go. So it is Tuesday.
As every
we are coming up on our second week of March right now. So we're in the second week of March, which opens up a few different opportunities, right? We have a very special holiday coming up on the 17th that many of us like to celebrate. It requires a particular color, requires a little bit of luck. And
you guys got your shirts? Should we go to Walmart today and pick out some shirts?
We do need to get some shirts.
We should
because
get
we don't.
ready.
You know what happens? We buy a shirt every year from Walmart.
They throw them away.
I throw them away.
They don't last.
Well, it's just like I'll use it for something around the house. Like I think I wore my last one for painting. Yeah. And I got paint on it and I go, well, yeah.
I did get a green shirt from OG when we were over there.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
But unfortunately, I got it a size down from what I actually wear as an incentive to lose weight.
Okay.
So I probably won't be wearing that.
Not too bad.
Oh, Dane. Well, that's honest. And I
probably
do like to
wouldn't
hear
be
that.
a good idea. But I am losing weight, so that's a good thing.
Good. So, yeah, we do need some green shirts. But what I'm trying to say is that a holiday's coming up. And for that holiday, we are going to be having something extra special.
Nice.
Extra mysterious. Extra fun, right?
Yeah.
So make sure you're subscribed to the Company newsletter so you don't miss out on any of the upcoming action. Now, on top of that, we are literally 3 weeks away, less than 3 weeks away, from TRC the Rag Company,
greatest detailing event of all time.
The Rag Company Media Access, Levi.
That's right.
It's something that everybody needs to set on their calendars.
Yes.
Go to theragcompany.com. You can check out basically the banner that's right there, and you can add TRCMA to your calendar.
That's right.
So you're not going to miss anything. You got to check it out. So April 1st to the 4th, one of the biggest detailing events that is free to join in, free to watch.
Watch it. While you're at work. If you got a TV at work, throw it on. If you got it on your phone, throw it on. If you got a laptop, maybe you're working at an office and you got a computer, put it on.
Maybe you're a barista in a coffee shop.
Maybe
and
you're
the
a
people
barista.
are standing at the counter waiting. You know what? They can wait.
That's
because
right.
You got a job. You're watching
TRCMA week.
Well, I want every local pub and you have like a local pizza shop or whatever it is, right? You know how it's like a sports bar?
Yeah.
Put TRCMA on at your local sports bar, right?
Yeah. Turn off that ESPN, put them on a new channel where there's a guy formerly from ESPN, now working doing TRCMA.
Nobody wants to watch the reruns of the Super Bowl from 1982 anymore, right?
TRCMA is what you need to watch.
TRCMA is what you need to watch. So that's coming up. Make sure to check that out. And then on top of that, because I've seen a couple of comments here, go and check out Obsessed Garage's newest Wash and Talk featuring yours truly. We had a lot of fun making that video, and I'm glad to finally see it come out because we shot that it was close, a month ago, right?
Jimmy and I had to stand wandering around that garage for 2 hours so as not to appear on camera while you guys kept going. And you were detailing for 2 hours straight. The video
No, I
is...
was standing for 45 minutes.
That's
Dane.
right,
I
because
was
he did not
standing.
give you a chair. He thought about it, and he's like, yeah, I should have had something. And then he just proceeded to not address it whatsoever.
What you guys see on that video is exactly what it was. Like it's like what
That's
you
the
see
entire
that's very
interaction
unedited.
you guys had.
what you see is what you get. I mean, like literally we stood there, we said, "Hey, let's shoot a video." And we pulled Evo in the garage and we just started shooting, and we didn't talk about it. We didn't stage it. We didn't plan it. We just started shooting.
No.
And so it's really fun. I mean, it's really natural and off the cuff, but I didn't even realize it was 2 hours long. I forgot.
It did fly
that,
by.
I forgot that it was that lengthy. So we had a ton of fun, though. Go check it out. Watch it. There are some funny spots in it. But mostly, really, I mean, I was just trying to understand, like, hey, show me what you do here, because unlike
It's been a few years.
well, unlike many of the other people, right?
Yeah.
That they see like all the wash and talks. They watch him wash vehicles every single chance they get. Guys, I love Matt's stuff, but I can't sit there for every wash and talk. Especially as I have to wash my own vehicles, right? So I can't always sit there and watch something. Or if I'm shooting a video here, I'm not aware of his full process. So it was funny sitting down and me and him starting to go and clean at it, because I look at some of the things that he does and I go,
Why are you doing
God,
that?
why are you doing that? It's taking forever, right? Or
Yeah.
that's adding more time to this process, more work to this process. But then there's certain things that he did where I go, that's not a bad idea, or that makes sense. Well, I see what you did there. That you did that to save yourself time or headache or hassle. And then for what it's worth, I think I said this before, but that dual pressure washer setup, the sistered pressure washers, the Siamese.
Yeah.
That was Ugga chugging out so much water.
Dude, thing's
That
crazy.
was crazy.
It
how
was.
much
But the
flow
thing
that
that
had.
most
Pretty
people want to
impressive.
go, man, you got to do that. And we talked about this.
Yeah.
You and I talked about doing some sister action.
Yeah.
You love sister.
Yeah.
So I sister all my things at work.
Yeah,
at my
no, I
house.
noticed. You
So,
you really do try
all my
and find a
tanks
way
are
to sister
sistered.
virtually. Even the reservoirs under
still,
your hood.
Still working on that.
Yeah.
That is a project of
But
how
it
to
is-
sister tanks.
it is a thought
for
you
the
had,
Suburban. I've
and
got
you wanna
sistered
execute.
batteries.
Okay.
I've sistered some batteries together. in the
Parallel
truck.
charge.
But I'd like to sister some tanks.
Yeah.
For
I like to sister a sister, am I right?
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
But here's
You know,
but
ask
here's the
first.
fun thing. You need to have enough water to flow in those pumps.
Yeah.
And that was fun to see that he not only has enough water coming through,
Yeah.
but then he had so much water
So much.
that his CR Spotless couldn't keep up.
Right, yeah,
He'd
the
almost
CR
have to
Spotless
sister the CR Spotless.
Was like the fail point. Not
2
because
in,
the CR
2 out.
Spotless is a problem, but because it just wasn't designed to
He would have
do
needed
that.
2 of those units to make
So
it work.
one thing I wanted to point out about that, because I did have so much fun being there, watching that, and also watching it again in video form after the fact. I love that he put that on his channel because it's a way to get Anthony in front of those guys, and then Matt appears on ours. And I know, depending on who you are, Matt could be a little controversial because of his opinions are very strong, and he says things that get people riled up. It's just kind of the way it goes. But it's always fascinating to see how his audience will respond to you on his channel.
Yeah.
And how, like, there's actually way more people embracing Anthony as, like, a voice of reason here and there in it, which I'm very happy to see. You'll get a few people who are like, who's this guy? You know, kind of
Yeah.
thing. But I am impressed to see that there's actually, like...
I like the last.
openness.
Remember the last time when people called for the punching of Anthony's face?
Right, yeah. No,
That
the
was
IK
weird.
Sprayer video remains
they
one of
were
my
like,
favorite
How
videos.
dare he speak to Matt on his own property? I would have punched that guy in the mouth.
I want everybody watching to understand that
Made
is
no
like,
sense.
That is absolutely one of my very favorite things, is having an opposing viewpoint. Not necessarily opposing, but just something that challenges what people accept as, like, this is law
Yeah.
on his channel. And he allows that, which is great. The ability for somebody to kind of counter and go, why are you doing that? Like, actually ask and try and
Well, there's
offer
one
a
person
countermeasure.
that is able to ask these questions, and it's Anthony Fisher.
And Anthony is the perfect foil to Matt, and vice versa. I think they work really well together in that they butt heads a lot, but it's fascinating to watch every single time. So, yeah,
is.
I can't stress again how awesome it was to just see it all go out that way. But that's what it's like. Even when the camera's off, they're still doing the same thing. It doesn't change.
Yeah, no,
So,
it's just
that's
pretty much
real.
the same stuff. I mean, and I mean, some of the things again, I'm genuinely asking, like, hey, why do you do this? Because I really want to know, like, what's the reasoning behind this? Because certain things he'll do where I go, this is just a weird, like, it doesn't make sense, but maybe in his world it makes sense. But there's other things that he does where I go, I can see why you bought that tool. I could see why you did this. This makes sense. I would spend the extra money for this. You know, there's certain things like that. So
I just think it's good to, have people poke the bubble a little bit sometimes and get you out of your comfort zone if you're too used to something. Like, try something a little different.
Regardless, go and watch it and please leave a comment, right?
Yes.
Let us know what you guys think of the video, right? Because ideally, in the future, we want to do some more of those and we want to feel like that where it's worth both of our time. So if you go and leave a comment on the video, we would really appreciate that. And when he comes up to Boise, we'll see what happens. We might shoot.
I want them to go watch
different video.
Anthony's Evo. He doesn't want it to happen, but I want it to happen. Please have you and Matt watch your Evo in your garage.
That would be great, honestly.
I know. So
Just
that,
the same video all over again, but
Or bring Matt over to my garage
your
and he can
Evo.
watch, checking out my new sink and my new outdoor
I
water
fear he's going to
spigot.
walk in there and have a seizure before he can do anything else.
I'm not gonna do this.
We could keep Matt preoccupied with like 100 different things here, right? The problem with that is that
He actually has a job he
would need
wants to
he would
do.
need to be here for like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Because if he's wanting to do our studio project, right? Granted, that is unless Mike works and we might have Mike film,
Yeah.
and then we still Matt for other things. We could do that. So I don't know. We'll figure that out, but that'll be hopefully coming this summer. So all right. So we've covered the kind of housekeeping situation with the sale coming up. Go check out the Obsessed Garage video, and then I'm trying to think. Last but not least, here, subscribe to the iComedy newsletter, TRCMA. And pretty
well covers it.
I think that pretty much covers it.
Yeah.
So
Did a good job.
With that said, let's go ahead and jump into our freaking weekends where we did a little bit of organizing, a little bit of restructuring, a little bit of buying, selling.
bits
Everything
and
in
pieces,
between.
Very nice.
Lots
All
of
it sounds like a
stuff.
normal weekend for all of us.
Levi, talk to me about your weekend's project.
Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate it. So this weekend I didn't have a vehicle to detail. So had been talking to the wife, tackling a project. You guys know every time we have to do some form of podcast for somebody, or perhaps we have to podcast from home for something.
Yeah.
You're sitting in your well-built, finished office with a lot of your accolades and trophies and whatnot in the background.
Correct. I have there's like a YouTube plaque there. I also have some just like memorabilia of like cars and whatnot. I have a whole wheel sitting on a wall.
You do. Yep.
As well as a full racing simulator
100%.
in my office.
Yeah.
Don't know how long I'll have that for.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying it while I can.
Yeah. So, and then Dane, you also have spent the last couple months working on your home office space, your Twitch area.
Turn my what was a guest room into a studio, an office. So it actually works really well.
Features a treadmill, a walking.
I have
treadmill.
a treadmill below my
And a
washing
dog hole.
desk. I have complete, LED halo lighting all around the room. I have a bonsai tree in the background between my two very nice prints by a South American artist who made super cool pictures of Lancia Stratoses, which I think is really cool.
And you have a foot cam as well. So
that's going to sound
people can-
weird
people can
until
see you walking.
you mentioned that for me, it was an accountability thing. I wanted to show people that I was, in fact, really walking on a treadmill. I wasn't just like pretending to do
So
this.
can people tip
So
while they watch that foot
the
cam?
the downside, the trade-off
he's
was
barefoot,
effectively
oh.
I created a foot cam without really
Thanks to our friends at Brooks
to do
running.
that
Yeah.
way. But you know what? It's a Brooks cam. That's what
right.
it really
It's
is
called the
because
Brooks cam.
I'm always rocking my Brooks when I do it.
Okay.
So
You
anyway,
need to have, hold on really quick before I forget, whenever you switch
Sponsored
that cam,
athlete.
you need to have like the little
Brooks
the
logo.
Brooks logo on the bottom
Powered by
corner.
Brooks.
Powered by Brooks. Dude, I would die.
awesome.
I would die laughing. Continue, sorry.
That's a great one. So anyway, I've always felt like I've had to. You guys have always been in these great settings, and I always felt like I'm in just a shed.
Well, you had
Literally.
a cool room. It just
I have a
it
very
was a little
so that's the thing. So
worse for wear.
we have a nice house, and we have extra rooms, because this house is quite large for that. And so we turned one room into a theater.
Yeah.
And then we turned the other room into a playroom because when we moved into the house 7 years ago, our children were very young. Our children still use that room sometimes up in the playroom.
Don't they think it's haunted or something?
They don't think it's haunted.
Okay.
But they're always like, I don't like going upstairs by myself.
So it's just a little spooky, but not.
Well, it's dark. We turn the lights off and up there because we never use it and all that stuff.
Okay.
So we live in the main part of the house. And then
Aren't there rooms upstairs?
There are, yes. There are rooms, but not bedrooms.
Oh, so it's not like the kids' rooms are upstairs.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. So there's no
Here
reason.
I thought it was like, what's the problem with,
So
okay.
point is, we'd like to do some things to the house. So
Sure.
one thing is that playroom doesn't get used all that often. Still does every once in a while, but it would be better if we could turn it into a actual guest room. So when friends and family come over, they have a place to sleep.
Yeah.
Because there's a full bathroom up there. So almost like an ensuite, but not fully.
Yeah.
But the fact is, there's a space up there. So first I thought, well, maybe I'll work up there. And when I had COVID coming back from Auto Mechanica, I did some work up there. And other times I've worked up there. But it's just not... I just don't have a conducive workspace, right?
Okay.
So I thought, man, that shed, that little room in my MOSHQ,
It used to be an office.
was an office
Yeah.
for the business that the people ran previous.
Do you know what business they were?
Yeah, it was like a bookbinding
Oh, okay,
group.
cool.
So anyway, I thought, well, I mean, it's air conditioned, it's heated, it's got carpet, it's got 2 windows.
I mean, it's all
nice
built
room,
in already.
Right?
That's
It's already got
yeah.
power outlets, all that stuff. It's a well-built, it was an office. So I told Carly, I'd like to go through our room, clean out some of our storage stuff, and I'd like to be able to get to at least where half of it is available that I could put a desk in and I could decorate.
Yeah.
I could paint, decorate,
Yeah.
and make it nice so that even from a webcam or something,
Yeah.
I have a space that I could go work in. Because
Sure.
all through the pandemic, I worked in the garage
Yeah.
on top of my freezer.
Yeah, you threw the laptop on top of the freezer and that was it.
That was it. So I've always felt like I've been catching up.
Sure.
And so I thought, you know what? I'm 44 years old. You
like making stuff.
My kids are older
Yeah.
now. I would like to have a home office.
A place you can
perhaps
go.
a spot for when my wife, if she needs to go somewhere quiet to work on some items from work, because
Sure.
she has had to. I want her to be able to have a nice workspace where she can come in there,
Yeah,
sit
that'd
down
be
and
very
work.
nice.
Or myself, if I have to do evening meeting or an early morning meeting like I've had to do in the
With
past.
our international
Yeah.
friends.
That's what I was thinking. So that's what I tackled this weekend.
Okay.
Got in there. First things first, Christmas and Halloween decorations. Everything out. That stuff is already prepackaged. We use those totes more often than not. So those out.
Okay.
As soon as I pulled all those out, I go, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is most of
So
it.
much room in here.
This is most of it. Pulled the shelving out that they were on. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is a ton of space for activities. Took the Christmas stuff, took it upstairs to the theater. There's a very large closet up there, a deep,
Okay.
large, like walk-in closet. We don't use it. We put our suitcases up there. That's it.
Huh.
Pull the suitcases out, slide all the totes in, boom. Suitcases go back in. Wow, there's still plenty of room in that closet.
Oh, wow.
So I go, well, that fit all perfectly. Then I have a cubby under the stairs. Little cupboard under the stairs. A
Okay,
little place for
yeah.
Harry
It's
Potter.
a little Harry Potter spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Augie's like, yes, it's finally cleared. I want to live in that spot. And I go, okay. He's never used it. It's been open for 3 months.
You could have him live in that and take his room.
I could.
That
But
actually might be the better use of
That's
space.
a great
True.
trade-off.
Especially if
So-
he wants to do that.
Child services
so anyway,
may not like
all
that,
of
but-
our
Well.
Halloween decorations fit in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, half the spot is still available. So what did I do? Went through our personal totes. Carly has a few personal totes from like high school. I have a personal tote
Yeah.
of like just stuff that I've collected over the years. Slide those in, right? Both those go in. We're like, sweet.
Now,
So
quick question.
last night I had one shelf to
Yeah.
go through. That was it.
Is there any spiders that you're finding?
No, I am because I've been bitten by a spider. And
Recently, within this last year.
within this last
That
year,
was pretty nasty.
I still have nerve damage in the finger because of
That
that.
was a bad bite.
That was-
It was an awful
that was
bite.
disgusting.
Do you remember? I remember, like, we have to
That
go
was
back to the podcast.
that was awful.
Like,
No, like necrotic tissue and all.
And
that
it
was
was-
not
no, it
good.
we kind of like
sucked.
downplayed, like, oh yeah, it's probably like a little bug bite. That was a bad
No,
bite.
that
it was
sucker just
horrible.
like hollowed out a chunk
Yeah,
of your.
it was
Ugh.
bad. It totally took out a chunk of my. I don't remember which finger it was, but it
Well,
was
the fact
good.
you can't tell anymore is probably good. sign.
Well,
You
no, I
should've
can
gone
touch
to
it and I'll feel it.
You should've got, like, some of an
I think it was
antibiotic
this
or
one.
something.
Yeah, it was this finger.
But
Too late.
So anyway,
finger melted off.
everything fit on the
So I
shelf
bug bombed the snot out of my house
Okay,
often
okay.
because of that.
with the family in it.
Yeah, with the
I was
family.
gonna
in it.
say, wait, how are the pets and family doing?
Because I don't like bugs, and my wife doesn't like bugs, but I do have a little ant problem upstairs. I think they're getting in through the pine tree upstairs. There's a pine
Ants are
tree that the
interesting
branch
like that.
hits, so I think that's where they're coming from. But anyway, point is, I got to get rid of those guys, but I don't have any spiders.
Okay.
So cleaned all that space out. Last night, Carly and I went through a bunch of just the little stuff. We found like
Sure.
house papers. We found some items. This is something that Anthony, you're going to notice is like you're going to have stuff for the kids. Mm-hmm. And so like we had a folder of like projects that Hadley did in first grade and kindergarten that we had liked that we saved a proportionate amount of. We had to create a new tote.
Yeah.
Well,
for that stuff.
Umberto asking you.
I'm
an
gonna have to
important
create a new
question
section
here.
above my garage for that kind of stuff. 'cause
100%.
My wife will save every one of those things. I already know she will. It's not going to be good. So
Yeah.
I'm going to have to figure out more storage space
Yeah.
for that. I know what
So
you're
people
saying.
are asking Halloween stuff. Why would you place it in the closet with Christmas? I have more Halloween stuff than I do Christmas stuff.
That's just how you roll.
Yeah, I needed 2 separate locations for that stuff. If I put them all together,
Makes sense.
it's just I don't want to carry that many totes downstairs. When I only have a few totes for Christmas, I have more totes for Halloween. So I wanted to keep them on the floor level. That was my reasoning because there's more totes.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
more trips. So anyway,
yeah.
but I got those done. We got those cleaned up. It's great. So now I'm going to get that whole space cleared out the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Vacuum it all up, get some paint on the walls, freshen it up, and then here's my game plan.
Okay.
Half the room is going to be like a desk and a backdrop, and it'll look nice.
Are you thinking
I'll-
long ways or
Crosswise.
Wide. Okay,
Just
crosswise.
wide ways. The other half, which you wouldn't see on camera per se, perhaps I put my camping gear.
Okay.
Store all my trailer equipment and camping gear in that room with maybe my generator and stuff like that in there. Here's the fun part.
okay?
If I do that, that clears off a wall in the MOSHQ,
Yeah.
which allows it to move other stuff. So multiple options for organization. I start clearing space because one area clears out space for the next area and clears out the next space. So it's going to multiply. It's going to be like a snowball.
Yeah.
So the MOSHQ is well on its way to being a highly organized,
Sounds really
I
and
like
nice.
all these
efficient
things.
facility. Now, Saturday morning, I woke up. Augie and I went to the Boise Roadster show.
Oh,
Yeah.
very cool.
Hopped in.
this
Popular mainstay here in Boise, Idaho for,
They've been doing
for
it
lovers
since
of
the early
classic cars,
70s.
hot rods.
50th anniversary, 51st anniversary.
Really no tuner cars there, ever.
Not yet.
There's
It's
exotics
getting there.
sometimes.
There's some exotics. There was a lower 80s Mercedes coupe.
Okay,
Late
when
70s.
we get
Like,
there.
when will
Very
this
nice.
change? Like, when will I get to go take my...
Soon as you
my
put,
Honda Civic
soon as
into
Your
a
you
hot
90s
rod.
Civic is actually
soon as
a
you put your
classic.
soon as you book to put your car in.
I mean, in the hearts and minds of people like you or me, sure, it's a
All you have
classic,
to do.
but
That's all you have to do.
I know, but it could be like I want it to
There's
be
a rating
appreciated as a
system.
classic.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
that
you
car's
just put-
25 years old.
Yeah, you put
know what I
classic
mean,
plates
Levi?
on it.
Yeah. Hot rod plates.
On a Honda
Little
Civic.
picture of a tea bucket on there.
Yeah.
The old timer plates.
Yeah.
But honestly, no. That was something that Steve and I from Garage Sale were talking about was how it is going to be funny in 20 years that there are going to be more imports and tuner cars because that is going to be the classic.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to see. And I go, well, even just the age of cars, like a lot of late 60s C10s and 70s square bodies.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't there 20 years ago when I was in the when I'd go to the car show. It was all 40s, 50s,
Yeah.
60s,
But in like
30s.
the last 10, 15
Yeah.
years, that's really become like
Exactly.
all ages, gender type, anything, any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody likes a C10.
A lot of late
Just good-looking
70s Firebirds and
trucks.
Corvettes and 80s Corvettes in it.
Which got no love before because,
Right.
boy, 190 horsepower out of
but that was what
giant
was
lump
there.
is not
So
great.
anyway, Og and I went. My wife had asked. She goes, "Are you sure you got time to do that?" And I said, "It'll take us an hour." So when I used to go with my dad and my uncles, they'd like to look at every single car, and they'd stop and they go, "Ooh, look at that! That car looks like they did this, and this to that. Oh, maybe."
So they're looking for the refined details.
Do you remember
the little-
so and so had a car like that, and they did that, and I was kind of like, and then they just go off on these stories.
Ooh, that's been shaved. Ooh,
Correct.
that's been, yeah.
And as a child, I felt like I was like a cyborg. I'd look at the car and I knew exactly every single custom mod that was done on it. And I go, well, that car was section 3 inches and it's chopped and it's decked and nosed and shaved and blah, 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 blah. Right? And then I go, okay, next one. Right? That was all I cared about.
Yeah. That's cool, though. That's cool.
That was what I look at. I go, oh, I can see, I like that. I like that. And I was done. And I'd walk through the whole thing by myself. And then I'd be done and be like, yeah, I've already seen everything. And my dad's like, we're on car number 4.
We're still
And I'm like, I'm already
hyper-analyzing.
done. Yeah. So that's how I've always been.
Yeah.
So as much as I love going with my dad and my uncles to that stuff, I can't abide the time suck.
You walk the car show the same way you eat lunch.
100%, Dane.
Seen that car.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun,
So that's what I did with Augie.
Yeah.
So we went in there. Augie started hooking up all the swag, walking through, grabbing everything he could off people's counters and desks.
Oh, good.
Here's the problem.
If it wasn't bolted down, it was his.
Right. It was his. There was way too many vendor booths.
Oh, interesting.
And
Was this the first year you've noticed that?
Yeah, I did go last year.
Okay.
I went the year before, and
And it
I don't
wasn't
think
like
I
that.
noticed that many.
Because there's always been vendor booths
But
there.
it was so packed. The aisles were so tight. The cars that were there were jam-packed around all these vendor booths.
Did it feel like the same number of cars or fewer cars this
Fewer
year?
cars,
Oh, really?
more vendor booths.
And it felt more crowded in spite
Far
of
more
a
crowded.
lower number of cars. Okay.
Yeah, very crowded. Good turnout. Chip Foods
So
there.
people showed up.
Talking, telling stories,
Cool,
whatnot, But it was, and it probably always been the same number of vendor booths. I don't know what the energy was this year, but it just felt too cluttered, too crazy, and just not. It just wasn't as good as I
saw
expected.
photos. It looked like standing room only.
It was packed.
Yeah.
And we were there about 11:30. We were done by 12 o'clock, 12:45. I called Carly when
Holy
we were
cow.
getting in the truck. I said, we're done. We're on our way home. She goes, holy crap, you
was
weren't
fast.
kidding. And I go, yeah, we're done. Stopped at the Army-Navy store, though.
Oh,
good
naturally.
time.
Augie and I did.
Always a
As
good
you do
time.
at
We're walking
Chittenden, yeah.
through, looking for body bags
Dude, I love
and,
the smell
and
of the Army-Navy
knives
supply.
and throwing stars. Yeah, so that was fun. So we walked through, and he was looking at stuff and thought it was hilarious. So then we walked. Then we got home. We did some just kind of hanging out at the house, chilling out. We went and did a grocery store run. But one of the biggest things was Carly and I on Sunday, we were planning on going to see Oppenheimer
Oh, okay.
because we hadn't seen it yet. Right?
wow.
And Oscars were this weekend. And my wife and I try to see as many of the Oscar movies in contention as possible before the Oscars.
Sure.
That's the thing we've done ever since we were married.
Yeah.
So we get the list and we just start working our way through movies and seeing them. So Oppenheimer was still on our list that we hadn't seen yet. And she was like, God, we haven't seen it yet. Hey, it's playing at the theater
I was going to
still.
say, you said go to, so that implies there's a theater still playing.
Yeah, so
it that
Edwards
you were able to
Edwards
see.
21
Okay.
was playing only one showing, an
course.
11:30 Sunday morning showing.
Ooh.
So we thought, let's do it. And I was going to call my parents or my mom and see if she could come watch the kids for an hour. But we thought they'd be good for 2 hours on their own, just hanging out. It's Sunday morning, and play on their tablets, whatever. So we wake up. Little did I forget the horrific time change.
Oh, yeah.
The
that
spring
probably
forward.
kicked you right in the...
Woke up at what I thought was 9 o'clock, didn't set an alarm. Nope, it's now 10 a.m.
Yep.
Wake up to both children screaming at each other, fighting and arguing.
Awesome.
So Carly goes, looks like we're not going to be going to the movie. And I said, we can still watch it here.
Yeah.
We have a theater upstairs. We
Yeah.
can go watch it up there.
Just do
and she's
that.
like, okay. that sounds good. And I said, but I'm going to get us some snacks.
Oh, okay.
So we get dressed, get ready to go. Augie and I run to the grocery store. We stop at the Jacksons on the way home, pick up some sodas, fountain drinks, right? Come back. I come back with Girl Scout cookies.
Oh.
I come back with M&M share size bags.
Wow.
I come back with popcorn. I come back with
gathered. Yeah.
came back with Biscoff cookies.
Wow.
I came back with
How are you not heavier than me at this point?
treasure packs of snacks.
Yeah.
And I came back and I showed Carly and I said,
Look at everything you procured.
I said, here we go. Look what I brought home. Look what I brought home for us. And she goes, oh, you weren't effing around. And I said, no, we're going to.
It's a 3-hour movie.
We're going to enjoy this movie. And then she goes, we need to eat lunch first. So we make lunch for the family.
That is lunch. You brought home lunch.
Those are snacks.
That's an incredible amount of calories.
So we eat some snacks.
Yes,
or we
pure
eat
sugar.
dinner or we eat lunch first.
Correct.
Right? And
Do you have like
then,
egg salad sandwiches?
I put in like a microwave pizza or an oven pizza for the kids.
Oh, okay.
Right? So we go upstairs, turn on the movie. My children actually sat through a 3-hour movie for Augie for the better part of 2 hours and 15 minutes.
So they watched it and they were cool.
We let them bring their sketchbooks up.
Okay.
So they kind of drew and sketched through the whole thing. Carly and I got to watch almost all of it, but the last 20 minutes.
You let Augie watch that movie?
Yeah.
Just say,
Did you?
Yeah. We made sure he closed his eyes in some parts.
Oh, well, there's a couple.
Yeah. Couple
sneak
parts.
up on you.
Yeah, no, we didn't know that. We had to go, shut your eyes. And I threw I had a blanket
Sir,
on my
this is
chest.
an interview.
I had a blanket on my chest. I grabbed his head and wrapped it up and pulled him down.
Yeah. I'm a huge Florence Pugh fan.
Yeah.
So.
No, I know you are.
You can see the violence, just not the other part.
Yeah. So,
So-
what's crazy? So I can't believe you guys actually sat through the full movie. You only need to watch 2 hours of that 3-hour movie, right?
No, we didn't finish it.
Yeah, you don't need to.
So
you
we
It's
got-
very good. Anthony just didn't have the patience to
once
see
the
it
bomb
through.
drops, it's done. You just
Yeah, we made it
Literally,
to that part.
once the bomb drops, you're only 2/3 of the way
Yeah,
through the movie.
that's
The
all
rest
that's
is a
all you-
great
Yeah.
philosophical exercise. It's an excellent movie.
So we still had 20 minutes left, but the Oscars had started.
Yeah.
So Hadley was pressuring us to turn the movie off so we could go watch the Oscars. So we said, all right, fine. You guys did really good. I'm really proud of you. Sorry, I got an eyelash moving around. But we were very impressed with their capability of sitting through a movie. And then we turned on the Oscars. Hadley loved it. Oh, yeah. Carly says we only have 5 minutes left. Yeah, sorry, not 20. 5 minutes is
the
what we
last
have
5
left.
minutes are very important, though. I
So-
will say.
No, you just.
He didn't want.
that
I
was the only thing.
explained the end of the movie to him because he didn't want to watch the rest.
You
He
don't need
literally
to
turned to
explain
me
it to
2
me.
hours in and he went, so does it like get better? And just
Yeah, the movie's weird.
It's very good.
So
Like-
It's a
certain part-
3-hour
Point is, it was
biopic
great.
that they managed to make
It
interesting.
was great. Then we got to sit down together as a family downstairs, and we watched the Oscars together. And I
Yeah.
think for the Carly, correct me if I'm wrong. It was only like the second time, and it was because we went to the Museum of Academy Awards when we were at Disneyland. We went to the museum, and Hadley started to watch some of the Oscar speeches. She got, the kids got to see some of the Oscars since like the 1920s. And even though they weren't 100% on board, they got to see some stuff that I think allowed them to go have a frame of reference for this, for the award show.
Yeah.
And so then they actually sat and watched, which was really fun. And this was our second year we actually got to do this. Hadley's kind of enjoys these award shows.
Okay.
So that was super cool because Carly she has her ballot every year that she fills out and does and keeps tabs and sees, and she's just pretty damn good at predicting winners for everything. So it was a really fun, simple, easy weekend for us to just chill out. This weekend, Carly and I got a date night up at the Springs.
Ooh.
So we're gonna go up to the hang out in the Springs.
Oh, yeah.
And then guess what? I also booked for the Saturday after TRCMA.
Oh.
To go to the Springs
It's a
too.
good time.
To go unwind.
That's actually
Yeah.
a pretty smart
I think
idea.
it'd be a perfect.
That is a good idea.
Perfect
Relax.
Saturday evening option is go sit in the hot springs.
It's a healing water is what they have up there.
Yeah.
right?
In the pool, the communal pool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys ever gonna book the private?
No, probably not. No.
You don't think so?
No. No.
Yeah, you're probably okay. I mean, you would need to bring some brushes with you.
We got to clean your own pools.
Yeah, you got to bring like some sort of like Scotch Brite or something like with you because you got to clean all the rocks off.
Yeah.
It's not so much you're worried about you're cleaning up. You're worried about what happened last time.
Yeah.
And you're just walking into that mess.
Very sulfury smelling too.
I'm just going to go to the
That kind of
regular pool and
masks
chill out
everything
and
else.
hang out.
Yeah.
That's way more fun.
Yeah.
Cool. That sounds like a fun time.
Yeah. All in all, good weekend. And then the progress on the MSHQ. Got the new pressure washer solution package. This is version 2.0.
Okay.
Oh,
gotcha.
yes.
I got the Karcher Cube 1800.
Holy smokes!
He went
That's
for
what
it.
I got.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear.
$160 on Amazon.
Now you're both Cube bros.
Yeah. No, I'm a huge Cube fan. I love my Cube. Right. 1700's plenty for what I need, but I am interested in the 1800.
Yeah, I thought because you had the 1700, I thought why not bump it up, go to the 1800.
One up a little bit. See.
I have
see
not
what it's
opened it
like.
yet. It's still sitting in the box.
Well, let us know what it's
So,
like at the top.
I need to fire that bad boy up, start modding it.
Love that.
Okay.
Dane, talk to us.
Man. Well,
you had a lot going on this last week.
I did, but it was a lot of it was a whole lot of back and forth stuff. You know, like cut a long story short, I went through the process of selling the Jag, which fortunately, after a handful of people came through, and you kind of wonder, is this going to go well? Because I hadn't sold a car that expensive before. Because other stuff.
Well, you have your truck.
Okay, that's true. I always forget about that because it felt like it wasn't real.
This time though, you didn't have to drive 2 hours to wait for somebody.
But okay, so
to show up.
The thing is, expensive in the sense like that was at a whole other level. Like you're dealing with, but the type of people that truck attracted were also difficult to work with. Whereas this was like a sweet spot. There were the people who were like serious. They were looking for a nice sports car, but they weren't like the Facebook hagglers at 15 grand or 10 grand kind of tire kicker weirdos. Which, hey, a lot of us are that. I get it. I understand it. But frankly, they could be a little annoying. Yeah. So at this different kind of level, it was like, oh, the people I'm dealing with here, they have the means to buy the thing. They're serious about it. They're not going to waste my time. But at the same time, they're asking good questions. And luckily, there's not a lot to worry about with the car as long as I'm upfront about the fact that it got ran into in a parking lot.
Yeah.
So as long as I have that out there, then I'm covered. So against some people's better judgment who are like, Dane, don't bring that up. Don't put that in there. What are you, an idiot?
Yeah.
Don't. Like, you're going to hurt your chances of getting, like, what you're asking for it if you do that. And I can understand the logic there. In normal circumstances, yes. But that's just not how I'm wired. If I'm selling a car, just deep in my soul, I can't be comfortable selling a vehicle to somebody if I know something happened to it and I didn't disclose that and it was under my watch. Like, if it happened before me and I don't really know the details of it, and the car's been fine for me, I'm not going to worry about that so much. But when it happened under my watch, I just wanted to be upfront about that. So I was. So I included a video. I shot a video out in my driveway, explained all this stuff, explained exactly what happened in basic terms, and then show video of, like, actually when it happened. Whoops, sorry, Mike. Yeah, just presented it as it was. But luckily I had Lucas, as I mentioned, detailed it, looked really nice afterwards. And turned out the interest I got was real. It was kind of quiet for the first few days. But after that, I probably in total had about 10 or 11 people who expressed interest, who actually checked in, and their prices they were offering were very fair.
Nice.
Some people were interested in offering full price, but they were kind of, let me check with my bank next week. This is the end of the week. I can't really do anything right now because bank's closed during the weekend for these kinds of transactions. Okay, but I had one guy who was very insistent. And it turned out that he was actually somebody who ran like a vehicle repair shop who specialized in aluminum repair and all these things, already owned a Jaguar F-Type, but also like built custom Corvettes and all this stuff over in Michigan. Apparently he's a big deal in his town kind of thing. Yeah. But ended up being very interesting guy to deal with, very nice, straightforward, all that. And he was really insistent. Like, he reached out to me on multiple platforms. It wasn't just one. So he tried to hit me up on Facebook, Messenger, Marketplace, on eBay, all these things. And I guess it was just because he tried, like, sharing his phone number to me on eBay to get a hold of me, and eBay didn't like that because they get kind of protective if you try and go outside the system. He was just really interested in the car. But to me, I initially avoided him because I was like, it's kind of scammery behavior. I don't want to deal with this. Turned out the guy was totally legit and real. It just, he was like aggressively wanting to get a hold of me, and that's how he chose to do it. So sometimes it throws you, but it ends up being a real
Do you find that you
thing.
get scammed often by people who look up all of your things with the same picture and name?
No, it's usually I can see them coming from a mile away, but if there's certain clues out there, I do get kind of put my guard up a little bit.
All right.
So other
Just wondering.
times, I want to be trusting.
Yeah.
I want to believe people when they say who they are.
Well,
But
you're a trustworthy person. That you
I
trust. You
I
give
try and
trust.
be the
Yeah.
ultimate person I would want to buy from.
Right,
So I
100%.
go out of my way to give all of the information, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between, and be thorough with pictures, all that. Anyway, this guy ended up offering me a pretty fair amount. He was close, and I said, hey, why not a little bit higher? This is what I think is more fair, and
Yeah.
it's still below my initial asking. What do you think? He went for it, and I got really close to my asking, so I was super happy about it. And he was going to pay to have the car shipped from here to Michigan.
Nice.
So that ended up working out great, and it actually just got delivered a day or two ago.
Nice.
And he sent me pictures and just said, thank you so much. Arrived exactly like you said, looked exactly like you said, and he left me the most glowing review I've ever seen on eBay for feedback. So that was
Nice.
pretty cool. I was really
Nice.
excited about that. But super solid guy. Really appreciate it. But anyway, I'm just saying that as a positive interaction of selling a car.
No, that's awesome.
I was very
Dane,
pleasantly
I think this is the
surprised.
fastest you've ever sold a vehicle.
No, it was quick. Like
Amazing.
it all went through.
Like-
Mailed in the title, did all
Yeah.
that stuff. And basically the way, just like a tip to somebody who might be in the same position, it was very helpful for him, and I found for me, like in the future I might do this, where he's like, hey, can I FaceTime with you so that I can like have you walk around the car and I can just say, hey, could you take a look at that? So you could get a sense that I'm a real person, and not somebody just posting pictures online, because you may think but you don't know 100%.
You know, you have that
and was
option
nice.
now in Marketplace.
That's cool. Okay,
You
because
can post videos of the
well,
car.
I've seen the video, but a lot of the videos on Marketplace, they come out so crappy.
Well,
like
yeah,
I've
I
seen
know.
a
I'm
lot
just
of
saying,
it. It's
though,
rough.
even if you're selling a $10 rug,
Yeah, but
you
I
can
mean,
create a video
the-
of yourself talking about that $10 rug.
and that's why I created a video on YouTube to do that on my channel, because I was like, well, at least this way
Yeah.
I can give people a thing. So I made a link, put it in my description.
Nice.
But with the FaceTime, he was able to dictate in real time, hey, could I take a look at that? And
Yeah.
like I could actually walk through it and show him. And that was the thing
Yeah.
that just put it over the top. He's like, all right, you seem legit. You're good. The car is pretty much how you're describing. If it's as good as it seems here when it shows up in person, then done deal. Like, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no, I'm just saying it was a very positive experience, but I like that idea of FaceTime and, like, kind of get to know the person you're dealing with as opposed to just hope and a prayer kind of thing. So, yeah, no, it was cool. Very happy with that.
Okay.
And then after managing to sell that thing in, I guess, what amounted to less than a week and a half, give or take. It was definitely less than 2 weeks, but yeah, it was pretty quick, and I got what I was essentially looking for. I had already been on the hunt for the replacement. Before the Jag had even set sail for Michigan, I was already bearing down on the car I was wanting to get, but I was kind of bouncing between a few I was looking at. I threw some, suggestions towards Anthony and Gabe. We had a little debate over stuff, and ultimately,
I would say debate. It
agree
was
with
more of
him.
an argument.
It was more of an argument, but the thing is, I don't disagree with anything they had to say.
You had a valid argument. He had a valid argument.
Mine was a
But
purely
at the end of the day, you're the one paying for it.
yes, and that's what ultimately matters. However, for anybody listening, I actually went the route they wanted me to go because
We
when it
forced
comes
them.
down to it,
We held them down.
the resale value will be better. I think I agree with that, but the initial cost is significantly higher than if I had just gone the other route I wanted to go. But I'm really happy with what I found. And I ended up getting a good deal. But I had to search and search because basically, long story short, ND Miata. So it's a 2022. So it's pretty new. Pretty new. And it's an RF. So it's a retractable
Nice.
fastback, hardtop
Yeah.
guy. It is white and it has a club package. So it's got all the aero stuff on it. It's got the BBS wheels, Brembo
Brembos.
brakes, and most importantly, the Recaro seats, which sometimes did not come with the BBS and the Brembos. So
Yeah.
it was like you had to option the Recaro separately on some of the cars. So anyway, finding a car with the Recaros was a real challenge. It was like needle in a haystack. Searching around online, there were not many in the whole country that were after 2019. And the whole reason I wanted after a 2019 car or 2019 later car was because they totally changed the engine in them. And it got basically like a 30 horsepower bump. And in a car that light, that's significant. So I don't want the slower car. If I can find the other one and it's pretty close in price, there's a big price difference on the used market. However, these things seem to hold their value pretty well. So I'm like, okay, I just had to bite the bullet if I find this. It's a lot cheaper than my Jag, for sure. So I have money left over to save, do important things like pay off debts or maybe do some mods, stuff like that. But yeah, I think it'll be a really good time. But the car I found, initially I found one in Southern California that looked pretty good, but it had like 32,000 miles on it. It was a certified pre-owned in a Mazda dealership. And it was that cool soul red color that everybody likes.
Beautiful color.
And it had the Recaro seats and all that good stuff. But it was a 2019, so it's the beginning of that newer engine run. I thought, that's cool. But they were asking what felt like kind of a lot. And it's always because of these seats being in it. Like, that's where suddenly every time I look, it's like $5,000 more than another one would be otherwise without them. So that one with 32,000 miles, you could do better, I think. So I kept looking, and I found this one in New Mexico, a white one. And it was still the same options and everything, but it was a 2022, had 3,600 miles on it.
Yeah.
New car.
And it was about $4,000
Hadn't even
more.
gotten its first oil change yet.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's funny. The previous owner, the first owner, went and got an oil change and then traded it in. And that's all they did with it. They put like 3,600 miles on it and then traded it in at an Infiniti or a Hyundai dealership or something. So it must have just not been practical for their lifestyle or whatever. But anyway, it wound up at this dealership in New Mexico, and now it's mine. So it's being picked up sometime later this week. It's going to come up here, and it's going to arrive on Monday.
Sweet.
So I'm looking forward to that a lot.
We're
I'm
very excited.
so excited.
Congratulations, Dane.
And just in time for the weather to get a little better. So
Yeah.
that was pretty cool, too. But anyway, that's the long and short of it. I found what I was looking for a lot faster.
So here's
than
the thing.
expected.
I am just thankful that through all this pain and heartache you've had to deal with for the last like 5 months to deal with the BS of the Jag,
Yeah.
for you to sell it that fast.
I feel
and
like
get
that was
paid
karma
for it,
giving me a little pat on the back.
Yeah, and then to find the car that you wanted. This,
Not what I
like you did
expected.
this all last week.
Yeah,
Literally,
I thought,
you sold that Jag and found the Miata all last week, in record time. Honestly,
this is the crazy thing. People will be like, "Are you sure you're not getting scammed?" No, I'm not getting scammed. I bought the car essentially through text messages.
yeah. No,
Like,
you did a great job.
with the dealership, but I verified like the phone numbers and went through all this stuff. And yes, it's real dealership, and they sent me real paperwork. Just filled it out, sending it back. But yeah, they're going to send the title and all that stuff. So it's legit. But it was by far the best dealership experience
Yeah.
I've had because it didn't involve having to sit in a dealership.
Yeah, anybody
and
that
deal
sits for 3
with that
hours in a
crap.
dealership buying a vehicle, 3 to 4 hours, like there's no need in this day and age.
I did
there's
that for my
absolutely
flex.
no need
And that
to do
was-
that anymore.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Especially like new and used. Like you don't need to do
Yeah.
that. They do that to try and hustle you and get you into a worse deal, even if you feel like you got a better deal.
Well, and here's
Like,
what made
I was
me.
when I bought the Fusion, it was 45 minutes. Carly and I test drove
45
it,
minutes is
and
fast.
I was 45 minutes out the door.
That's
right behind
fast.
her. Like I've never.
Yeah.
The last time I spent 3 hours in a
Oh man.
dealership was when I bought the Elantra in 06. That was the
Yoshi,
last time.
It's an RF. So
So
it's
Most of the cars I buy
fastback.
have been in parking lots,
Yeah.
or have been in people's like homes. And,
But even your 4Runner.
or
When you
yeah,
released deal on your
4Runner.
4Runner, you weren't there for 3 hours.
No, because they were closing. I think we were in and out of there in like an hour and a half. Like it wasn't very long. We
No, it was quick.
We tried to be as fast as possible.
So I wanted to say the way I was able to tell it was actually a dealership when it finally came time to like put my money where my mouth was and all that different stuff. I mean, I wired the money to this place, so I can't get it back now. Went to the dealership. But the way I knew it was real was when they're like, you're going to need to talk to our finance guy, when you set all this stuff up. And I'm like, I'm buying it cash. What could the finance guy possibly have to say to me?
Yeah.
And then I thought about it like, oh, wait.
oil
I
changes,
know.
coatings.
I know what's coming. And sure enough,
Additional add-ons.
Sure enough, this whole like easy breezy experience, this finance manager catches me on the phone and it's just like, hey, yeah, so I'm looking through, yeah, you're paying cash, you're doing this amount, which I got a very good deal on this car, by the way, but it had been sitting there for a couple weeks, so they were ready to move it. But anyway, he started going into trying to sell me on an extended warranty, and I was just laughing because I'm like, yeah, it's a dealership. It really is. You know it is when you start getting offered that stuff. Well, these cars have a lot of electronics, you know.
So you can bring it back to us? I'm not taking my car back to New Mexico.
Like, absolutely not. And I'm like, best of all, it's a Miata. Like, no matter how modern these things get, functionally, it's still very easy to work on if you need to do something yourself. So I'm not going to worry about it. Everything I need to find is online somewhere. A huge aftermarket. Anyway, I just thought it was funny. I was like, oh, is it a dealership? Oh, extended warranty? Yeah, it's a dealership. Yep. So, yeah, that's been my experience.
Congratulations,
But I'm really
Dane.
happy that it just worked out. And buying a car in cash was relatively painless, although I can't usually do that. So that was a fun experience to try for
Like I
once.
said, that was amazing. Like
Yeah.
you say, karma giving you a little boost.
Thank you, Karma.
7
I'll
years,
be good,
this
I
is
promise.
Dane's 13th car?
Oh, we're well past that.
It's lucky number 13.
I mean, total in my life, I've owned 19 cars.
A lot.
So, yeah. Anyway,
That's
that
a
gives you
lot.
some perspective. Yes, Anthony, your weekend.
All right.
Tear it up. Let's
All
go.
right, well, we only got like 10 minutes left. I'm going to try to make this.
Oh, you're going to go
somewhat-
over 10
somewhat
minutes.
quick,
I know.
right?
We always go over 10 minutes here.
We'll see what happens. So, let's see. So Friday night was pretty chill, pretty hangout night. I'm trying to think. That's what I ended up doing. So on Friday, I got home and I asked my wife. I said, "Hey, I'm gonna go into the garage. I'm gonna go try to install something. Right? I'm gonna go try to finagle something." She goes, "Sounds like a good plan, right?" What I ended up getting were some wall-mounted. They're basically wall-mounted workbenches that you can buy at Home Depot. What they are, it's a big piece of butcher block and 2 brackets. They go into a wall and now create a foldable workbench.
So you can fold away.
So you can fold it down. Yeah.
Sure.
So on one side of my garage, I've been wanting to figure out what to do over there since I got rid of all my shelving that I had over there and put it in the shed, primarily because it was all storage. So this blank wall has been blank now for what, a year?
Yeah.
Almost a year. About a year now. And it needs something there because it's so empty. It looks clean, but like at the same time I go, well, it's a whole wall that I'm not using for anything. So I had mounted my quick jack hangers over on that side of the wall. It's the same wall that has my pressure washer on it. And I was looking at that space. I'm like, man, like, it would be nice to have a workbench here, but my wife parks over here,
Yeah.
so I don't want her to hit the workbench. So I don't know what to put. So that's when I did some research. Josh Brodel also kind of like steered me towards these as well. And he's like, check these out because there's a couple different versions of a wall-mounted workbench. There's the type that fold down, or there's the type that kind of fold out and have like these wheels, like these dollies that roll with it, right? It's like, it kind of like collapses like sideways,
Yeah, it's
right?
for like heavier
Okay.
stuff.
For heavier stuff. And I didn't want that, so I found these butcher blocks with essentially these little brackets that just fold downward. So I said, okay.
These would be great for Dane's garage.
Honestly,
perfect.
yeah.
So,
No, when
you
I
know,
saw that, I was very interested.
He could put a couple of these up, and so normally it's in parking mode
Yeah.
because it is a tighter garage.
I'm dealing with pretty limited
But you could
clearance.
pull like Liz's car out and then pop a couple workbenches up if you needed to do some things.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
So I
or even put one outside underneath the carport on the other side, so you have another space just in case.
yeah.
Fair
Maybe you're
point.
doing something outside.
No, it makes total sense to have a workbench that can fold down and be out of the way, and then one that can fold back.
Doesn't
up
work
and-
for me because I like to put stuff on my workbench.
Well, that's
Sure.
the beauty of it is that
What's
you
the
just
weight
fold
capacity?
it down.
but then everything falls on the ground.
I know you don't. That's why you just put everything away.
What is the capacity on these?
500 pounds
For the non-dolly version.
for the non-value version. Yeah. So
Okay.
just the stud-mounted version is 500
So
pounds capacity.
You or I could actually like stand on that thing and it'd be fine.
Yeah, but you can. But I mean, when am I ever going to stand or sit on?
No,
it?
I'm just saying, hypothetically, you
Work-
get
yeah,
like
yeah,
something
you're gonna-
pretty heavy or an accumulation of things that are heavy.
Maybe
you
you're
need
putting
to
a
place
transmission
somewhere.
on there.
You stick them up
I
there.
think a
and-
transmission will weigh that much. I mean, regardless, I think that it's a perfect thing. So
yeah.
Home Depot, they're $115. They have a different version that's like $150. It has like white brackets. I got the one with black brackets, and it saved me like $30 or $40. And so they're like $100, and they're 4 feet long, 20 feet in width.
I'm sorry, what?
4 feet long, 20 inches in width.
Okay.
Or depth, I should say. And so I ordered
so
them.
they don't cut in too
They
much.
got there in a couple days. So Friday night, I spent time getting all those mounted up and seeing what that was going to look like. And holy smokes, dude. I put the first one up. Basically, what I did is I taped off all my studs on my whole wall with just yellow tape, so I knew all where my studs were. From there, all you need to do is mount your brackets 32 inches apart, right? So every 16 inches I have a stud. So I just said, okay, here's a stud, 32 inches apart. Put the first one in, put the second one in, put the butcher block on top, right? And you can move the butcher block around wherever you want it, because then you'll drill the butcher block in through the brackets. Yeah. So you move it wherever you want it, and I ended up leveling it, getting it absolutely perfect, and then put my first 2 brackets in, put my first butcher block on. My second one, I was thinking about butting it up right against it, but I have like this kind of this wall outlet there that it looked kind of like funky. If I would have had them right next to each other, it wouldn't have looked aesthetically pleasing. So I spaced them out a little bit. I don't know how many inches. I think it's like 10 inches, maybe less than a foot. And then started my second bracket, second shelf, made sure everything was perfectly level at the exact same height, and I killed it. Like I got it perfect the first time, and I couldn't even believe it. I brought out my massive level, put it on there, and I was like a super proud dad moment where I go, no way.
Yeah, these are level.
No way. Look how level these are. Grab my wife. Look how level these are.
Get a Hot Wheels car and set it on there and it just stays.
She's like, good job. I'm like, no, I don't think you realize. Like, this is like spot on.
I've never done this before.
So, anyways, super cool, dude. You just walk up in the folded position. You grab the bottom, lift it up, locks in place. Bring it back down. You grab the 2 tabs, pop them up, bring it right back down.
Nice.
And so now I have 8 feet of usable horizontal space. I don't think you guys realize how big that is.
Oh, no,
it's a
that's
lot.
awesome.
No,
Yeah.
it's a lot. My dad has a workbench that goes down the side of his shop at his house. And I remember when he built that. He built it all out of 2x4s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, "This is going to be the most epic workbench I've ever made in my life." And it is 16 feet long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, or maybe like 14 feet total. But he's like, this is awesome. And I remember people that would come over and go, damn, that's a lot of workbench.
Wow.
That's a ton of workbench.
I know, it sounds
and he's
dumb,
like,
but
and he goes, no, this is going to be good. He uses every single square inch of that now.
Sure.
Yeah.
But at the time, that was unheard of. Yeah. And now Anthony Fisher with 8 feet plus on the other side's your other benches, which is amazing.
Cool about
and you have
that?
room to put a third one if you want.
Well, and it's butcher block, dude. It's so nice.
Yeah, no, it's very
It's like
nice,
a finished
the butcher block they
UV
have.
protected butcher block. Like, it feels nice. It looks really nice. And I go, $100 each. I'm like, that's like the best deal ever.
It wouldn't be flush anymore, but you could install a vise on one.
So I've thought
That would
about
be pretty
about
cool.
putting
Put a vise on your
I
toolbox.
think I'm gonna put a vise on the toolbox, mainly because, I think it aesthetically just looks better without anything on those.
I don't
And
disagree.
so
I was just thinking if you're going to have a space, like a big workspace like that, it might be nice.
yeah, I know I do need a vise eventually on something, like 100%. Like I've been thinking about getting a vise as well. But anyways, so these foldable workbenches, they're amazing. I can't believe I didn't do them sooner. And for detailing, right? Like the thing is that is on the side of my garage where it's my 2-car bay, right?
Yeah.
So when I'm doing anything detailing related, right, or I'm working on the cars, I usually have only one car in the middle.
Right.
But that one car in the middle, I'm usually reaching for tools and or detailing products or random things at the front of my car where my one workbench is, or I have like this very
It's nice
small
to have a spot on each side. That's what I have.
rolling place.
Yeah.
Now I got a spot on the other side of the car that's going to fit every polisher I own, every chemical I own. I mean, it's going to fit all the towels. Everything can be put on those 2 benches. And then at the end of the detail, everything gets put away. Those fold down, and everything's cleaned
Here's
up.
the other thing. You could get another one of those, put it out on your back patio
Yeah.
next to your barbecue.
Ooh.
Pop up all you guys. You got a table. serving table,
Straight
especially
up.
under your
Straight up, dude.
especially
I am-
under your patio
Overhang.
cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you just have it sitting there, and you're like, hey, let's get some dips and chips and snacks and stuff. You bring the family over.
Yeah.
All right.
You have another little serving space. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like, they're super versatile, and you can also find those same just the hinges. So you can add your own tabletops to them if you want.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So maybe you have like
Yeah.
an outdoor space and you need a stainless top, or you need something a little more hardy.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that and make it match. Like, Dane, you could do one with your siding
Yeah.
on your house and then pull it
I
up.
guess I could just go
and
right
it's
through
a
it.
tall it's another piece, but it looks
Yeah.
like it's part of the house.
No, that'd be
and you're
sick.
like, oh, here's a little outdoor workbench.
Yeah.
You know, maybe near
be
the
cool.
hot tub. You know,
Ooh.
let's pop that up, put our drinks on there.
Well, in order to do that, I'd need a hot tub.
I know,
first,
I'm what I'm saying. But the point is, those are
Wishful
super
thinking.
versatile. People put them in their camp trailers too.
Yeah.
They have single hinges, and then they'll buy little butcher blocks and
Oh,
mount
yeah,
those
yeah.
so they can extend the amount of countertop
Totally.
in the trailer.
Anyways, I want one of these in more places. Maybe make my laundry room. I'll probably do another
Yeah,
one.
that's a good idea. Laundry
eventually.
room, yeah.
But no, I honestly, dude, like I can't. That wall. Think of it as that wall needs nothing to be stored on it, and I can't. My wife cannot park in the garage if those things are up. Right?
Yeah.
I guess she can.
She can, but it makes
she'll
it tighter.
She'll probably hit
Yeah.
them. Probably. So I don't want that to happen. So my fear of that will not allow me to store anything on them.
Okay.
Right. So it's I'm not worried about it. So now I'm just trying to think of beyond those countertops.
Where else you do that?
Should I put pegboard behind those? Like, what else could I do to make that wall more usable? I'm also thinking about doing the Husky upright wall mount cabinets, right, and doing something like that. I need to eventually get some of those because I want to, where my pressure washer is, I want to put one cabinet above there so that can be where all my soaps and all my other random stuff are stored. And then I'm going to do a couple uppers, I think, on the other side of my garage. Basically, after doing the lift hangers or the quick jack hangers and doing the new foldable benches, I was telling my wife, I think I want to do some other stuff to the garage here and get this kind of where I want it to be, because for like the last year or two, it's close, but it's not where I really want
Sure.
it. So I'm probably going to work on that this spring and get a little further on that. So Friday night installed workbenches. Saturday was like kind of like a hangout day for half the day, and me and my daughter went on a bike ride. So I busted out the GT Aggressor Pro, right?
Oh.
That for my friends over at Dick's,
Yeah.
right, that I got last year, and hooked up the child trailer, right, and went for a bike ride.
Nice.
And took her down to the park, and we had a good time. It felt good jumping back on the old GT Aggressor,
bike.
right? Getting some good pumps in and whatnot. And actually, it was on my wife's GT Aggressor because
what's wrong with yours?
hers has the bracket on it. I don't have the bracket on it installed on mine. So, but anyways, rode hers. Everything went well. And then Saturday night was just kind of like a chill hangout night. I think I got some stuff done around the house. I went to the gym and whatnot, and I've been itching to wash something and clean something. But the only car I have that's really truly dirty is the Civic right now. But we've had all this intermittent weather where
Dirty
it's
rain.
sunny, dirty rain, sunny, dirty rain.
Snow.
I go, what's the point, right? It's just
It snowed and rained last night.
yeah.
It was like a weird little spittle,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then but it still soaked everything.
It's still kind of spittling
It just-
this morning.
Carly and I
It's
went for a
weird
walk
weather.
last night, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, it's raining!" And then we were out there, and we're like,
Wait.
putting
a
our hands
second.
out.
No,
We're
it's
like,
not.
it's kind of just like
Well, it's funny because I think last year I was
wasn't really
I was
rain.
able to keep the Civic pretty clean throughout the whole year, but I think I stopped carrying it at a certain point because my clear coat was really falling off of my hood. If you guys remember that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so what I ended up doing on kind of looking back through my pictures here. So what I ended up doing on Saturday night was I ended up cleaning up my pressure washer in my Sierra Spotless because when my resin exploded inside that thing, I needed to go and clean all that out. So I ended up cleaning that out, and then eventually I'm going to have a reel to hold my pressure washer hose, which that'll go on the wall and right above the Sierra Spotless, and then that should clean that whole area up as well. So then Sunday, this is where things got a little frustrating. and I kind of lost it a little bit. So Sunday, it was like it was daylight savings.
Yeah.
I think
You were off on your sleep.
I was off on my sleep, but I remember waking up and being like, okay, I'm gonna kind of plan out my day today, what I'm gonna do, and I was going through different things. My wife had some things that she needed to do, some errands, and so I told her, I said, hey, I think I'm gonna go on a bike ride again. I think that was really fun yesterday. So can you just kind of hang out here before you go and take off, and I'm gonna get the bikes ready and get the bike ready, and then go do what you need to do. Well, go to grab the bike, pull it out of the shed, and oh no, right? Flat tire.
Mm-hmm.
I go, flat tire?
What's the culprit?
You didn't have these tires slimed at Dick's professionally.
No, I didn't. No, they didn't slime it at Dick's.
You could have asked them to slime.
I could have
said,
had
Dick's,
Dick's
I need you to slime them.
I could have had Dick's slime them, but like I don't trust the Dick. I don't trust Dick's, honestly.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I think Dick's does a pretty.
Okay.
Wait,
Just-
that's
that's fine.
subpar?
Yeah.
I think they just do a subpar.
Yeah.
They're just. It's not impressive.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
The work at Dick's isn't impressive, and regardless, yeah, I pulled the bike out, looked at the tire, and the tiniest goat head.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
I am talking, dude, like
Yeah, just a tiny
microscopic.
puncture.
And I look at this and I go, "Are you freaking kidding me?" And I pull it out, bam, all the air starts coming out. I go,
There-
stupid.
So, for people who don't know what a goat head is,
It's like a little spiky. I don't know how to describe it.
It's
Think-
a
think
spiky
like
little
a-
nut
Yeah.
that we have.
if
that
you're
we
familiar
get,
with like thistles and how spiny that kind of flower type thing is,
Yeah,
imagine that
and
as like a little
thorn.
nut, a little
Yeah.
kernel, but it just the vicious spike sticking out.
we like to say that in Idaho we have the worst goat head problem, but it's in Utah and other states
Take
as well.
stepping on a Lego times 1,000.
Yeah, but it'll pop your bike tire anyway.
Yeah.
So I grabbed the bike. I said, you know what, dude, I can go down to the store, grab some slime really
Yeah,
quick,
great idea. Mhm.
and I can fix this. I can fix this tube because I need to slime the tube anyways. But if I slime the tube, then chances are, right, I'm gonna get this.
Fill it up with some pressure.
Fill it up with
and
some
get
pressure.
good to go.
I'm
Yeah.
good to start riding, right? I told my wife, I said 10 minutes. I'm like, honestly, I'm just gonna run down to
Yeah,
the gas
because all you
station.
got to do, grab the bottle, pop the valve, stick
Easy.
the thing on, squirt. Make sure you're at an angle.
Yep.
Squirt it in so that it can fall down.
Correct.
You're
Yep.
good to go.
One.
Don't even need to take the tire off the wheel.
100%. Don't
Yeah.
even need to take the tire off the wheel. So, anyways, I pull the bike out, flip it upside down on my back porch there. You know, it's kind of a nice day. I might be able
Okay.
to do this. My daughter
Yeah.
comes out. She goes, Daddy, bike ride? I go, we're going to go on a bike ride.
Yeah.
Hey, baby girl, give me just a minute or two, and Dad's going to fix this bike, right? Because dads know how to do this.
Yeah, it's a dad thing.
And I can do a lot of different things, right? I can install tons of car parts. I can take cars apart. I can
You have folding tables.
I have
now.
folding tables. Like, Dad's very skilled. I can fix a flat tire on
Yeah.
a bicycle.
Yeah.
So she says, okay. So I said, just play over here. Give me a few minutes, right?
Right.
Flip that bike upside down, right? I get that tire. I look at it. I go, Presta valve, right? Forgot this bike has a Presta valve.
Well, it's because it's a high-end race bike.
Yeah, of course it is. GT
That's why they
Aggressor Pro.
That's why they're running
So,
Prestas.
I look at this.
I have Prestas on my bike.
It's preferable to a Schrader.
It's far more preferable on the bike scene,
Yeah.
bicycles, because of the fact that it's more durable and you can run higher pressure in your tires.
Makes sense.
So
Sure,
that
of
is
course,
why
'cause
it's developed.
Yeah,
Right,
it's
okay,
absolutely
makes sense.
needed, apparently. So I look at the Presta valve. I go, stupid. I go, I think if I remember right, I gotta let all the pressure out. I gotta twist off this little tiny
Yeah, it's a valve stem.
micro nut right at the end of this, and the end of this, the core, right?
Yep.
So I go, okay. So I go to twist it up, back it off. I go, okay. Let me grab some pliers really quick. Grab some pliers. And I
So
go, and I-
just so everybody understands, I am a certified specialized bicycle mechanic.
sure, yes, of course.
Myself and Nate Schramm.
You're specialized in
No,
specialized.
specialized, certified and specialized from the factory. I'm a
I know the
factory
brand
certified specialized bicycle
Correct.
mechanic and spent better part of a decade as an actual bicycle mechanic. So
Yes,
continue with your
correct.
story.
So I go up, gotta grab some pliers to be able to get this little micro nut off, right?
Everything
So-
sounds great right
So
now.
bam, I start cranking it, right? Okay, got a good grip there. Micro nut's coming off. Be able to twist it off. Bam, perfect, comes off. Sweet, right? Now I have
Cool.
this core that's just flappy, right? It's just a little floppy core that just kind of goes up and down inside the tube. I go, okay, cool.
Got to pull that out.
All right, I gotta try to pull this out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I look online. I start watching a few YouTube videos. People say, okay, so this is how you can do this. The easiest way is actually not to pull it out, but if you push it back up and into the tube itself, you can actually then pinch it with these little plier things
Yeah,
that
hold
pinch
on to it.
That pinch the core. I go, sweet, right? I can do that, right? Grab myself a little hair.
Little vice
Tweezers.
Little hair, what's it called? A hairband thing? Yeah,
little hair clip.
Little hair clip. Stick that on, and I go, cool, grab my slime. Oh, you need a Presta adapter. Well, fortunately, I have those, right? Because
Yeah. Wow.
I bought Presta adapters because
Thinking ahead.
most because you can't just fill up a Presta adapter.
Correct.
You have to have an adapter on the Presta valve in order to fill it with air. So
I can feel him getting
I-
more angry.
Because most air compressors run off a Schrader.
Yeah, most air.
valve.
Actually, almost all of them do.
Yeah.
Actually, almost every single air
Except for
compressor does.
bicycle pumps.
So
Sure.
then I grab my little adapter, I put it into my slime tube thing because
Yeah.
that's the only way to do it. I put it up to the Presta. I
Yeah.
give it like
Everything
a couple,
sounds great.
Give it a
Yeah.
couple turns.
So far,
flip,
so good.
I go to put the tire at a upward angle.
Right, so
and
that
I go,
that way when you squeeze it up, it's going to go
Yep.
down the
perfect,
thing.
right? So I go, core is figured out.
Wow.
Got that needle set aside.
Anthony, it seems like you're
I got
right.
all this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, everything
know
you've
what the
done
problem is.
perfect.
And I start squeezing the slime, right?
Yeah.
And I go, okay, come on, baby. Come on. I see a little bit of it moving up and
Yeah.
in.
Are you making any farting noises yet?
I go, okay, it's coming up. It's coming, right? It's definitely coming. So I start massaging the
Okay, good.
the tube, right?
Yeah, you got to
And
get that stuff
I'm
out.
trying to get it
sometimes.
out, and I go,
It's thick because it's got cotton in it.
I go, dang it. I go, I think, honestly, I'm going to get a better leverage, right, if I can get the rest of this tire off, right, because
Okay.
I kind of had it at an angle. So I go and grab my little tool, get my tire off, I rim it. I do give it a little rim job.
Well, there was no
And
need to
then-
do that,
And
but
so I
okay.
got that off of that. And then after that, I pull my tube, right?
Right, but again, you didn't need to do that.
And
but
so I'm
okay.
looking at the tube, and I go,
Starting to get unnecessary.
I start pumping it full. I'm pumping it full of slime, right?
4
Trying
ounces
to
is
get
all you
in
need
there,
in
right?
that wheel.
Just 4 ounces, right?
Correct.
I am barely getting an ounce in there, right?
Okay.
Oh, no.
And so I'm going, dude, I'm watching these people online and they're like, give it a good squeeze, right?
Yeah.
So I say, I'm going to give it a good squeeze. I give it a good squeeze, right? What happens? It explodes, right?
Oh,
Pops off the tube?
Thing pops all over me. I'm now covered in slime.
Oh,
right?
no.
I look down at my
Like a contestant in a Nickelodeon game show.
Yeah.
I look down at my jacket and I go, shut up, dude. I go, it's all over me. It's all over
You got
my
gagged.
outdoor carpet, right? And then it's all over the spindle. It's all over the wheels.
Oh,
and I go, something had to have been wrong, right? Like I'm like, come
There's
on,
some barrier.
dude. I'm so close to whatever I need to do. I've
Yeah.
done all this work so far. Let me just get a little bit more in there, right?
Oh, no.
So I attach it back up there. I go to start pressing and applying.
Hand sanitizer.
I start applying more
Oh, it's
of
just
this,
that all
this
over again.
slime.
Yeah.
And I'm squeezing it, and I'm seeing a little bit of movement. And I go, okay, dude, did I get
getting tired yet?
Did I get enough in here, right? So I pop the thing off. My daughter comes out, and she goes, Daddy, yuck. Yuck, green. I go, yeah, no,
no.
it's there's green slime. And she starts going to play with it. I go,
No, don't eat that. No.
Don't touch that. Don't touch that. Daddy's almost done. Hey, Dad's your superhero. I got this bike tire
Yeah.
fixed, right? This is going to be okay, right? And she goes, yeah. So then, right, after I'm covered in slime, the bike's covered in slime, my daughter's covered in slime, right? Slime Time Live happened in the back of my freaking backyard, right?
Yeah.
I'm so pissed at this point that I huck the slime
Oh, no.
into the grass.
Right.
Because I go
Frustrated.
I'm so frustrated, it's ridiculous.
You Matt Mormon hunted it.
So then I said, sweet, now it's time to take my core and fish it back down in through my stem. I pressed
Oh, boy.
a stem
Yeah, should
and
be
then
easy.
pull my core out, right? Okay, so this is what I want to know.
This is why people
When your
practice core
pressed
exercises.
stem is, let's just say 2 inches. I don't know if it's exactly 2 inches, but
about 2
it's about 2 inches, right? But your core is only about an inch, right? And now you have essentially a urethra now that's all gunked up with slime, right?
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's all gunked up.
Yeah,
How
we
do
gotta
you get this? How do you get the core that is this thin through 2 inches of stem, right, and then fish that out
Yeah.
Pretty sure this
without
is like
repuncturing
You didn't want to
the
stick like a
tube.
toothpick behind
You
it.
can't stick anything behind
Yeah.
it. So then I go, okay. So I'm sitting there with a toothpick going in through the stem, trying to clean out this urethra of slime,
Yeah.
right? And
So-
oh no.
So you want to know what a mechanic would do? A bicycle mechanic would do?
What? What would a bicycle mechanic do that not an average everyday Joe would have in their home or
This
technique
is
they would
this
have?
is where experience comes to play.
Oh boy, can't wait for this.
So you run tubeless.
Oh,
Not the
yes.
answer. That,
Yes.
that
No, what you
is-
do? Here's what
Eliminate
it
the
is.
problem by
here's what it
removing the
is.
tube.
So no, in true seriousness, Anthony, it is cheaper to just go buy a tube with a Presta valve with a sealant in it in the tube
Already
than
in
to
it.
deal with this because
All the stuff he
most
just
bike
did.
mechanics will just not do a slime job or with a Presta valve without just they'll just take it out. They go, oh, you want slime? You want slime in there? And you're like, yeah, just let's say you're buying a new bike at the bike shop. And they're like, hey, you want me to throw some slime in there? And you're like, yeah, that'd be great. You know what they're doing? They're pulling those tubes out and they're just hanging them up and they're going and getting 2 new tubes that are Prestas with sealant in them, and then they're just putting those on and filling them up. Here you go, bud.
Yeah.
Good to go.
100
Thanks.
100
That's all they're doing. That's
100%.
all they're doing. That's all Nate and I used to do. That's it.
100%.
Okay. So what did you do?
Because it's insane.
Yeah,
What you
no.
dealt with was insanity.
Yeah.
I gave you crap on the group text, but like it's
You were
serious.
like the most
I
condescending.
was,
You're like,
but I
"Can't
had
help
to
you,
be
bud."
because it is seriously. You did
ridiculous.
so much that like I look at it, I go, I'd never do that.
he
Yeah.
created a
Like, I
scene out
never
of a
did
horror
that.
movie.
I never did that.
'cause all I was doing was just treating it as if it was a Schrader valve, just
Which
trying
was
to
where you
say,
do it wrong.
Yeah, this is how you do
Yeah.
it in a Schrader
Prestas,
valve.
you
right?
can't do that
Except
with them.
technically with a Schrader
Wow.
valve, you just twist out the cord.
It's easier. Pull
and
the
you
valve stem
shove-
out and you put it
shove
on and you're
in
good to go.
Put it right back in. It's not that big of a deal.
But on a Presta, you can't. And so my bicycle,
It's
Yeah.
a delicate flower.
for the last 10 years, 12 years, 15 years that I've had Presta valves, I either run tubeless or what I have now on my bike are cush cores
yeah.
on tubeless tires.
Yeah. Anyway, so I sat there covered in slime.
I'm so sorry.
I sat there covered in slime, holding a tube that was I mean, it was sticky.
Gunked up.
It was
Yeah.
just a mess.
No, it's a
It's just a mess.
Absolutely.
I am having the.
Were you
I'm holding-
reevaluating everything in your life that led up
I'm
to that
holding
moment?
this miniature nut, right? I got this
Yeah.
nut in my hand. I'm just holding this nut that's also covered in slime. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, where did I go wrong in life?
Yeah.
And also, who invented this? Who said,
Mr. Presta.
Mr. Presta
Why did you do
went
that,
to a
Presta?
Schrader
Why?
valve and said, how could we make this worse? And then they did it. And it's absolutely mind-blowing. And then because what I was thinking in that moment was, I don't know why this scenario came in my head, but I was like, hey, I'm in the woods. I'm on my mountain bike, right?
Uh-huh.
I have some repair tools in my backpack. I'm having a good time. Oh crap, a freaking bear, right? Oh God, it's a mean grizzly. This grizzly wants to just tear me
Well,
apart,
you're
right?
between it and its cub.
I got a 10-minute lead time on this grizzly,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But he's smelling me. He's
Yeah.
tracking me. He goes, that guy's got a hole in his tire, right? And I'm gonna eat that guy, right? So I'm 10 minutes ahead of this guy, and I go, you know what? I gotta repair my tire because I got a flat, right? Because
Oh, no. Yeah.
apparently I ran over a goat head, right? So I go, but that's okay because I got 10 minutes, right? You know what I got? I got a thing of slime in my backpack, right? And then I flip my bike over and I look and I go,
Well, yeah,
Presta valve, right?
Man, bear, pig.
Don't worry. Nobody would have ever designed this to be this difficult to repair. No, who would, right? Who would?
Hopefully that person talked to a certified bike mechanic previous and got their tires, the tubes, the proper tubes.
So
Man.
what it comes
And what they
down
have is
to,
a
Man.
next tube that's in the back that's got sealant in it that they can just put in.
Right?
That's what they want.
Should've.
Surprise, bears
or
are faster
their
than you
mechanic
think.
pushed them towards an item called Cush cores, or hey, how about we convert those to a tubeless setup?
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
simple, easy to do.
Sure. Anyway, what it comes down to is me being that guy on that bike in that scenario, I'm dying. I'm getting eaten by that grizzly. Grizzly's killing me, right? And then you know what? Then he's riding off on my bicycle after he's done murdering me.
Yeah, he's on his way to the circus now.
Yeah. No. He's on my bicycle to go right off to go actually buy a bicycle that works, right?
You know what? Imagine how terrifying that'd be. You're out in the woods, and suddenly a bear on a bicycle just goes rolling past you.
Question for you, Fisher. Did you order 4 new tubes?
No, I need to.
With Presta valves and slime in them in the tubes.
After talking to you guys, I'm just gonna get gonna get slimed Presta valve tubes.
Okay.
Be done with this, right? And I believe it's just you just install them like normal.
That's all you do.
Okay, that's all.
Or you go one up, and we get you some Cush cores in there, and you never have to deal with the flat again.
Yeah, I know. That's going to cost me a ton of money. I don't think I want to do that.
Hey, so, it's a GT Aggressor Pro.
I know. It's obviously worth it. But my wife comes out. She goes.
What happened here?
Yeah, she comes out. She opens the slider door, and she looks at me. She goes, "Everything okay?" And I go, I don't know where to begin explaining this to her. That like, hey, this is what I'm going through, because I told her, I said, hey, quick
10 minutes. I know
10 minutes. I know what I'm doing. And she goes, so what happened? I go, I'm just done with this freaking bike. And she goes, okay, you can be done with it. And I go, my daughter wants to go on a bike ride, and she's not going to go on a bike ride now, and I feel horrible. And she goes, well, you guys can go do something else. I go, I know, but like, she was, you know what I'm saying? When she was
she wanted the
she
bike
was climbing
ride.
into the back of the thing.
She's ready to rock.
With her backpack and her snacks. And I go, that's the cutest freaking thing I've ever seen.
No, I know 100%.
And Dad let her down because of Mr. Presta effed me. Effed me, and I was covered in slime.
Yep.
So I was just so sick of it. So anyways, I ended up turning it into a better day, though. And took her down. We went and got some Boise Juice Co. Got a fruit bowl. Got a smoothie. Got to eat it in the back of Dad's truck. And we got to just kind of hang out. And I had some rope back there for when I tied something down, so I created a little obstacle course for her to climb through.
Nice.
And then took her down to one of the parks, and we played for like another hour or so. And then went back home, and I don't even know what I did to finish the day. I think I kind of did some stuff on the computer, and then played some video games. Tried to jump into my racing simulator, but I've been still having this sciatica pain, right? Dude, it's been going on like forever now.
Yeah.
I'm done with this. I think I'm going to get a new back.
That's a good idea.
I think I'm going to try to see if I can pay a doctor just to put
a new spine in you?
New spine, preferably.
What if they install
one.
a tube with a Presta valve?
Fill them up
just like a little lumbar support. No problem.
Anyway, so Presta valve. What's the point? God, I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even. Don't get me started. Anyways, I got to fix my bikes. I want to get it back up and running.
Yeah.
It's going to be riding season soon, right?
Okay.
And I want to be ready to hit those trails, because now I have 4 tires to do, not just 2.
What about the trailer? Have you put slime tubes in the trailer? Because my trailer blew tires.
Ooh.
So actually, no, they're not slime tubes. They're just normal.
But you put slime in them.
But I'm about to slime them.
Yeah, because my trailer did the same. Like, it was great, and then one night, like, put the kids in there, and all of a sudden it was like, what the heck?
You
and
just
I had
rode through
full
a bad
blown,
spot.
it was just like totally flat.
Yeah.
Freaking go aheads, man.
No, freaking go aheads, dude. So, anyways, guys, that's it. It's gonna be it for this my weekend.
Wow.
There you go.
Thank you.
That was a journey. Thank you for taking us on that ride.
You're welcome.
Or rather, you never got to go on the ride.
I hope it was visual.
Anyway, if you've been watching this and you enjoyed and you thought the innuendo was just the right amount but not too much, please leave a comment below saying your favorite part of this episode. And if there's anything you'd like to hear us talk about in the future, you can throw it down there too. If you are not subscribed to the Rag Company Podcast YouTube channel, what are you doing, guys? Come on, click the button. It's real easy. Just click subscribe. And if you want to know every time we post live, it is every Tuesday. But just to make sure, you can hit the bell as well. Other than that, hit like on your way out the door, and we would very much appreciate that. And of course, you can join us back on Thursday right here at the same channel for our Q&A Thursday, which we always love to do, where we answer your detailing questions. Tuesdays are for us, but Thursdays are for you. So
I like that,
That is the way it is. All right, guys. Thank you. Take care. Have a great week, and we'll catch up with you on Thursday.
See ya.
See ya.